Yo, what is up, everybody? Hope you are doing well. Happy Tuesday. I know I got this wrong yesterday when I was with AJ over at his apartment, and I said Taco Tuesday yesterday that there was no show. Man, was I living in the future. Welcome to the show today. It is actually Taco Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. Was back over there today. That's it. I helped as much as I could today. They got a few more things to go through tonight, and then they're going to put that stuff in the trailer. And then AJ's dad and his buddy are off back to Maryland tomorrow. Jada is flying out, and AJ is flying out. I'm going to take him to the airport, and then that's it, man. I'll tell you what a guy he is. We got some things to talk about tomorrow, but what a guy. So here's the deal. I don't know if there's going to be a show tomorrow. It all depends. I believe his flight is at like 7 something, which means we probably, and I'd love to take him to the airport. I know that he can get an Uber and all that stuff, but it's just, it's my homie. It's going to be the last time I see him for a long time. So I don't know if we're going to do a show tomorrow afternoon, unless maybe I do some kind of stream in the car or whatever. I'll talk to him later today and see what he thinks, or we pre-record something and then we put it out later in the week or whatever it may be. But appreciate you guys being here today. Thank you for giving me the afternoon off yesterday. I helped him take basically the big project yesterday was to break down the studio and put it all into the Cybertruck, because that was getting shipped to Washington. So that'll be there when he gets there. So, all right, we've got a fun show today. Make sure that you guys smash the like button on your way in. That's the number one thing you can do to help me out. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you are not. If you are watching over on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching on X, that's cool. Just do the follow over there. Like, do the things you got to do. And because on X, what's cool about that is you could go and like repost some things. You tag some friends, say, hey, we've got a show going. We're going to talk about some crypto. Got some stories. We'll go through the markets. Got a few stories. We got an XRP story. We got a Trump story, an ONDO story, something about tokenization. I don't know if we'll get to it or not. Maybe we'll just do those first 3. And from there, we're going to look at the charts. See if we can get into any trades. Everything I've been looking at today, everything I was looking at, I feel like there's a I told you guys so from the morning show. We were talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin was pushing 85.9. We were looking at that, to see if it was going to push 86 and hang and go up. And if I'm not mistaken, I might have said something to the effect of, if we look at the leapfrog indicator at the VWAP, in the previous day, I thought we were coming back down. We're going to have to take a look at that chart, because I'm pretty sure I told you so. Now, here's the deal. I'm still using it as kind of I'm watching. I'm making note of specific things, and I'm watching. I'm watching to see what it does. So, but so far I'm liking what I'm seeing. I have not traded anything specifically based off of it yet. So Mike, the modern Canadian, my guy, Papo. Yeah, big daily wick on Bitcoin. We will definitely take a look at that. David Brumblebow, my guy. Hydroski, what's up, fam? Mike Vollmer. Whoa, how did the metal count go today? Mike Lowry picking up the gold, my guy. Mike, hope all is well. Carrie, actually, that's strange. A comment just came in from Carrie that says 11:39 p.m. You are watching on Twitter. Let's go, my guy. If you feel like tuning in on YouTube over with the Chuckleheads, you are more than welcome to. But either way, wherever you guys consume, wherever you watch the show, I want to let you know that I'm eternally grateful. It does mean the world to me. And so, Pat yourself on the back by smashing the like button. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's go. 6 a.m. Doug in the building. Let's go. All right. So it was Mike Lowry with the gold. Flying Ryan, too, says he is back and he's also picking up a silver. And then we got Blocky picking up the bronze. Congratulations to our medal winners. Remember, at some point in the future, that will be worth something. So never give up. Never give up your dreams of getting those gold medals. We might even go back and figure out, how many we can go back and count. So we can count every live stream ever. Just start giving out medals and things. Who else we got up in this chat today? Man, it's funny how carry your X chats that you feel like they're coming in now, say 11:39 p.m., and they go way up to the top where the earliest YouTube ones are. I wonder if that's an issue. Well, we'll figure it out. But I appreciate you guys being here. Let's get into the markets. That's enough bullshit from me. I don't mean to be here bullshitting you. I just want to tell you the markets, man. Let's look at them. I'm going to refresh CoinMarketCap just to make sure. Here we go. We got the market coming in at 2.65 trillion, down 1% today. Volume down 21%, 72.5 billion. Bitcoin dominance, 62.9 here. That's on CoinMarketCap. So this shit is way higher on TradingView and for real. And I bet damn near close that we are well over 3.5. I know that we probably tried to push to 4 today, but we'll see when we get into a little bit later in the show. ETH dominant 7.3. I feel like that just keeps sliding slowly but surely. Gwei back down to 0.54. A half of a Gwei. ETH be cheap, baby. ETH be on that cheap fear and greed. Coming in here at a 31 on CoinMarketCap. Altcoin season 15. This reminds me. This was shit. I haven't looked at this in a couple days. All right, so we have our loser pile, right? Remember, we bought our losers. We bought the one time. When was this? When did I input them? April 7th, we did this. We bought $100 in 5 of the biggest losers here. And when I say the biggest losers, I just mean here on this top 100 coin performance over the last 90 days, right? We scrolled to the bottom and we picked 5 that we thought, had a good chance of maybe pulling some numbers, see what happens. So as you can see, and I'll read it to you because it's probably really hard to, plus I have a screen shield. So our portfolio is up $100. It is up to $600 at this point. The render is up to 125. That is there you go. Fetch AI up to 117. You got the Graph 104. You got Pith Network 104.90. And then you got JASMY. JASMY coin coming in at 153.8. So we got 53, almost 54% on our JASMY return. We got 25, almost 26% on our render return, 17, almost 18% on our fetch, 5% on the Pith, and 4% on the Graph. I tell you what, I just don't know. At some point, the Graph and Pith have got to move, or it's time to cut. It's just time to say, fuck it. Other things are doing better. I mean, look, for Christ's sake, you got 25% on render, 17% on fetch, 53% on JASMY. I feel like the Graph and Pith are probably better utility, and maybe that's the point. Sometimes we got to think about like that, right? What potentially is going to have the best utility? Maybe there's some suppression going on in the price. Keep people uninterested. Keep you out saying what I just said. Fuck it, sell it. This thing ain't moving. Let's go to a mover. And then all the while, smart money. Loading up that bag. Really interesting. Okie dokie. So is there anything down here? Wouldn't touch it. As you guys know, we did talk about it in the breakfast show. There was no afternoon show yesterday, but my gosh, definitely did some great trading on on Sunday when it was after the dip, while it was kind of going crazy. I did give some gains back, but I did make some good gains though. We will probably, hopefully, be doing some live trading soon. I want to see if I want to do like some collaboration stuff, but hopefully this week, I think at some point we'll do some live trading. I know that that's what I want to do, and we'll just figure it out. We'll find a good trading day to do it. I know all days are good trading days, but I'm not a shorting kind of guy, and if the market's down, I'm not into it. But this could put us in a good position to get into a good trade for a good up day. So we'll look a little bit later in the show. So make sure you guys smash the like and stick around now. Stick around here. Okie dokie. Let's go back to coin market cap. And let's see, what do we got here? Trending, WCT, Pi, ACH, ZK, Bitcoin. There you go. There's your 5 trenders. No, I didn't say chicken tenders. I said trenders. Here we go. Here's our top 10. We got Bitcoin coming at 84. Remember what I told you. We're going to look at the chart. Remember what I told you. Remember what I told you where the daily was. And I think actually this thing made an even stronger move down towards the SMA, which that's another thing I've been looking at is that sometimes is a magnet too, especially if it's pulling down. I've seen this a few times now. So we're gonna start paying attention to this a little bit more. And I feel like there's a few times throughout the day where it really makes the most amount of sense to be paying attention. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. is one of them. That's me, 8 p.m. my time. Here we go. All right, so Bitcoin 84.90. You got Ethereum at what, and it's up almost 10% in the week. You got ETH at 1600, up 10% in the week. You got XRP 212, almost 17% on the week. BNB 583, up 555. Ooh, better than 666. 555. That's like the phone numbers that don't exist. That's the movie phone number. Solana 127. Nice to see it climbing back up. Looking forward to see it back up over 200. Then start getting into 3s, 4s, 5s. Remember, 800 to 1200 is kind of like my wishful thinking target. I think 5 to 600 is probably more likely time to start scaling out. We'll see though. We'll see how it goes. Tron number 8, up almost 9% in the week to 25 cents, and Dogecoin number 9, 15.5 cents. Up almost 9% as well. Number 10, rounding out, Cardano, up a little bit more than 10%. I hope you guys saw my post that I posted earlier. It was about, now this was pretty funny. We talked about it this morning too. And I had gotten, somebody actually had responded on a different post with me today. So it was about this pillow fighting, combat pillow fighting. And then I was tagged in a post and someone here, I'll pull it up. I want to give the credit where the credit is due. Let's see. I have to go to my noties. I gotta scroll down for a second here. But it was blindfolded MMA. And I feel like blindfolded MMA is that's right on the same level. Now I can't find it anymore. There's another pillow fight video. I don't see it. It's gone now. But anyway, so that's really interesting. I wonder what would be now getting knocked out from just taking a blindfolded punch to the jaw. As much as it would suck, it's definitely more reputable than getting knocked out with a pillow. Now, I get combat pillows may be a little bit firmer than your standard pillow, but I just, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. Ada gang, right? Ada gang doesn't allow that. That was the whole point of that, was that the Ada gang would not allow a pillow fight, but the Cardano community has that happen. There's a pillow fight, and it's not the combat one. Actually, it's not as cool as the combat one. It's just like a standard pillow fight because, it's the Cardano community, so they're going to be extra safe, and they're just going to use like some really soft pillows that you can just get at your normal Target or whatever. So, shout out to the Ada gang, but not the Cardano. Anything? Let's look at some losers. What do we got at some losers today? We got Pi losing 10% down to 66 cents. No thanks. Helium down almost 10% down to 336. Nah, XTC Fartcoin. Fartcoin's a trader. I mean, that could be one that maybe you get in to do some trades. I feel like Ondo and Fartcoin are like around the same price right now, which is funny. That's just one of those things that kind of irks you sometimes, and you're like, man, this project's actually doing something. Whereas like Fartcoin, not doing anything. Just it's a liquidity maker. I know, I get it. All right, that's about it. Fetch, so it's down 7%. So we probably were doing a little bit better on our bag. And that's Jasmy down almost 6%. So things were definitely going to be looking better. It's been a couple days definitely since I looked at this. I don't know why I said definitely like so many times in a row there. That's weird. Oh, a lot of our coins are down pretty good today. All right. Well, we'll check back in on that in a few days. We'll see how we're doing. Hopefully we're I guess since we started this, 108 was our max. It's at that was the graph was at 108. What does our portfolio tell us? No. We don't have that. Do we? Nah. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see. Any losers on the week that we want to check? Mantra, man, I tell you what, no thanks. Tezos, that one definitely sticks out like a sore thumb. Look at that, 86% dropped like a rock. Although 81 cents, it was down to wasn't it down to like 40 something again yesterday? I think, if I'm not mistaken. So some people maybe made some pretty decent money on this. I am definitely done trading this for now. H versus M. Let's check the chat for a second here. I'll go fully. Shout out to my chat. Here we go. Michael Navarro been busy at work trying to get this bathroom project wrapped up. There you go. Everybody's working for it, man. Finish that thing. Bathrooms. I love bathroom remodels. That's probably one of my favorites. Mike, the modern Canadian, still stuck at work till 4:30. It's tough to make. Usually driving home. Can't be typing. Don't type and drive. Only at stoplights. Only at the stoplights. Oh, what else we got here? Blocky, my guy. I got to make it back into one of your streams one of these days. I'm going to be, let's see, what is today? Today's Tuesday. So Wednesday, I will be busy. And then Thursday, I'll be back in action, back in the saddle all day. So I'll definitely be home and able to catch one of your afternoons for sure. So shout out to all you guys for being here. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys do smash that like button, hit the heart, and do all those things. It does help me out and it helps you out. All right, let's move on to some articles here. It is time for that. So XRP, this is why it got on the thumbnail. This is why it's going to steal the show. We got the story about XRP here. XRP most likely to get a US spot ETF approval ahead of Solana, ahead of Doge. This comes from data from Keiko Indices. They're boast their deepest 1% market depth on vetted exchanges. XRP surging past Solana since late 2024, doubling Cardano's in liquidity. There you go. What do we need to know here? Let's take a look at this. This is the TLDR for anybody that wants that. XRP and Solana are leading candidates for U.S. spot ETF approval due to their high liquidity, with XRP potentially launching earlier. XRP's U.S. market share has increased since the SEC's 2020 lawsuit, while Solana's share has declined. And the recent launch of a 2x XRP ETF by Ethereum has boosted XRP's momentum despite caution in the options market. Now, let's take a look really quick. And I know that we will definitely be hopping over into the charts a little bit later in the show. But let's just, for the sake of, while we're talking about XRP, let's do it. All right. So here is the chart. This is the hourly. Let's go to the daily. It's been pretty tight today. As you can see, it's been in a pretty tight zone. Overall, still in a downtrend. You're in a downtrend till you're not. This swing's been going on since the beginning of the year. So we started moving down in about mid-January. This line is definitely an older one. But there you go. So in a downtrend until you're not. And you could probably I would draw it like that. And this, because this was a pop and a drop, and it didn't, it got erased. You could just call that an anomaly, right? And just write that thing right down, and just hit the top of the tops of the wicks, tops of the sticks, depending how it's slicing through there. So you know how it goes. So we'll take a look at this stuff back when we get into it. But potentially you could see this thing breaking out very soon. Especially if we'll draw some better support levels and all that stuff. But and I'm gonna ask for you guys to hop in here and let's do some collabs. I know we talk about that kind of stuff all the time, but let's really get it going. All right, back to the XRP story here. We said that they are XRP, Solana, they are top candidates. The report came out. The data from this Kaiko indices shows they boast the deepest 1% market depth on vetted exchanges. Okay, let's get rid of this ad really quick. There we go. Unlike Bitcoin, which secured spot ETF approval after Grayscale's legal highlighted victory, the SEC's inconsistent stance on futures and spot markets, XRP operates differently. All right. Our XRP US spot market share has climbed to its highest since the lawsuit triggered delistings, and that was crazy. While Sol US share had slipped to 16% from a 2022 peak of 25 to 30%. But that, I mean, it was definitely different times back then. And I know that, we've got a lot of meme coins and all that shit that went on Sol, but I think that the dilution and all the stuff that was happening on the market definitely hurt Solana in the long run. And I think there's a lot of people that would agree on that. While it was good, a lot of people made some good money and it was fun and yay, woohoo. We do know that we talked about it this morning on the show too, that like right now, this kind of like little mini bear market that we're having is really good for what's going on in crypto. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, it's like a little reset, right? We can kind of weed ourselves, some of the scammers, liquidity drainers, all that kind of stuff, and really maybe get back to focusing towards where crypto needs to go. I mean, we're like in the spotlight now, and so it would make the most sense for us to do something like clean up this space, get rid of the bozolitos, and then a little bit later this year, kind of reintroduce things. And especially as we get into some different regulations, we see banks maybe starting to offer hopefully some services sometime in the next, probably the later part of this year, quarter two being where we are now for the next couple months. Oh, thank you. I forgot my water bottle was there. So anyway, here's a little bit more of this article. We got to quote this. Who does this come from? Do we know who this is? This is maybe from that report. Then this underlying markets improving dynamics and the launch of a 2x XRP ETF last week position XRP ahead of other assets when it comes to approval. Although this is from one of those Kaiko analysts. Although some tokens, such as Litecoin, which have very similar consensus mechanisms to Bitcoin and share similarities to commodities, could also have a clear path to approval. And while I understand that, I just, I feel like there's probably ones that have better liquidity that would make a better impression. And so, like, if people are trying to gain, you're always looking at the metrics and the amount of, just because it's got the same mechanisms of consensus as Bitcoin does not mean that it needs to have an ETF. And you guys know that I'm all for the ETFs of any coin because of what really this means for later down the road, where the index funds is ultimately the end goal because that's where all the money's at, right? But at the end of the day, like, while we're still young and we're still being held to kind of these standards of our metrics, if you have an ETF that's an underperformer, what's the point of keeping it around? You know what I mean? So just don't do it in the first place. Like, if you're not going to get the liquidity from it that you need to run it, like, or however all that works, like, just don't do it. I'm not the boss. XRP strong fundamentals. Durabit's options market reflects caution with a bearish skew in the implied volatility. Smile for April 18th expiration, signaling demand for downside protection. The SEC has acknowledged several XRP spot ETF applications with Grayscale's filing facing a critical May 22nd deadline. Okay. So we're coming up. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I'm certainly excited about a spot XRP ETF. I mean, I feel like that helps, right? Again, when you think about all this stuff, and you even on down days when you're starting to be like, oh man, like, are we still going down? Like at some point, these bullish stories are going to catch up with the actual market. Like I'm not sure what the delay happens to be, but like you just can't have this bullish news every single day. Like, a spot ETF for XRP, like that's massive, right? That's massive. This next story is not so much the same as the massive news, but anything Trump does is huge, baby. And Donald Trump launching a new crypto video game inspired by, come on, none other than the most capitalist game you could imagine, Monopoly. All the details on the new project, according to Fortune. Here we go. There we go. There's a Trump and a Monopoly and a Bitcoin. There it is. According to fortune.com, President of the United States Donald Trump is ready to launch a new initiative in the crypto world, a real estate themed video game with dynamics similar to those of the famous board game Monopoly. Here we go. Return to the business game, the crypto monopoly, according to Trump. It's not the first time that Trump shows interest in the world of board games and real estate. Already in 1989, he launched Trump the Game, a personalized version of Monopoly. Okay. So here we go. This makes more sense now. Subsequently, in 2006, he also considered a reality show inspired by the same concept. I've always thought that Monopoly was an extraordinary game. He stated in an interview with the New York Post. That's hilarious. Me and my buddy Ross, when I lived in Austin, we used to play extremely competitive Monopoly. That shit was fun. And we like him and his wife and daughter and Wit and I would go on cruises. We'd take trips, we do that stuff. There's always a game of Monopoly. Shout out to you, Ross and Marlene and Ava. All right. Behind this new adventure, we find Bill Zanker, entrepreneur and former founder of the Learning Annex, as well as longtime friend and collaborator. Okay. So he already was involved in the launch of the NFT collections and the Trump family meme coin, and he's been confirmed as the creator of the new video game. All right. His spokesperson, Kevin, denied any direct connection with the title Monopoly Go. However, he confirmed that Zanker is working on a game set to be released by the end of April 2025. Okay. Well, that's coming up in a few weeks here. Today is April 15th. So we've got exactly another half of this month. And I know that there's 30 days in this month because my birthday is the 30th. I will be 43 years old. Very excited. This is a great year, 2025. Big one. Let's go. It's a big year for all of us. I can't wait for you guys to be filthy, filthy rich. You know that? Filthy, filthy rich crypto millionaires. All of us. Think about it. It's going to be great. 2026 and beyond. Man, we'll be taking trips. We'll be going to conferences all over the world. We'll be doing the things, guys. Let's go. Smash that like button. If you want to be a crypto millionaire, you better smash that like button like you've never smashed it before. Smash like you've never. You can. I used to say you could smash anything. You can smash anything as long as you smash that like button too. That's okay with me. That is okay with me, fam. Man, the chat. Somehow my chat got backed up. I'm all the way here. Holy smokes! What is up, fam? Oh, not your keys, not your cheese, and that includes your NFTs. You got to finish that one. That one's all the way. It covers them all. Not your keys, not your cheese. Here we go. Blocky is our resident. He's our pragmatic bear, right? Or pragmatic bull, I guess, because he's kind of bearish, like but that's okay. That's okay. He knows how to call it. That's really true. That's really true. Let's collab soon, man. Let's do it. All right. Are you going to be getting the Monopoly game? Or not the Monopoly game, the Trump video game? The Web3 crypto video game? Come on. Ain't no way this thing's going to be good. And I could be way wrong. And I'm going to play it. But there's no way it's going to be good. And maybe what we need to do, we'll figure out how it all works and if you can multiplayer it, and we will stream. Like the day that you can get it, we'll stream that shit and we'll play that shit. Well, as many people as we can play are gonna play. We'll do a sign up once we know more. The video game represents just the latest piece of long list crypto initiatives carried out by the Trump family. You know, they got the stable coin, the NFTs, the meme coin, the decentralized finance project called World Liberty Financial. And they just recently announced the Bitcoin mining facility thing that they want to do, in which Eric and Donald Jr. would have a significant stake. There you go. Let's see. He's here. You know what? It's really it is interesting about all of the crypto initiatives and stuff that they're doing. And it, you know, you use your influence, and he's got his sons running it. You know that you're using your influence, and so whether this is right or wrong, illegal or not, at this point, I'm not really sure. But I mean, it's smart, right? You're capitalizing on, and that's the way the world works. So get used to it if you guys are whining about it. But let's see, during the second term, and he's done a lot for crypto. Well, I mean, he's done some things wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. He's done some things wrong for crypto. I get it. But he's also done some things fucking right for it too. He's appointed an AI and crypto czar. He's authored and created the Natural Strategic Reserve of Bitcoin and digital assets. Him and Loomis, and promoted a new legislative proposal to regulate the crypto industry. So, boom, there you go. Who's Bill Zanker? Bill Zanker is a key figure behind many of the Trump family crypto projects. That's it for the article, right? Yeah, there you go. Again, whether you're a Trump fan or not, politically, I don't care. That's not why we talk about stuff like this, right? This is one, it has something to do with crypto. There's going to be a game. I know a lot of y'all are gamers, and so you know we could put together a whole game stream, and if it's Monopoly kind of like style, that could be fun. I'm all into it. But again, he did some shit wrong. The Trump coin was fine. I had no problem with that. It was the Melania coin at the pace in which it came out after the release of the Trump coin. That was the problem. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people would probably agree that that was not well timed. And where is it now? Let's take a look. MELANIA official Melania meme, right? Okay. Let's go. Let's bring you guys back up here. Let's share this tab instead. All time. Oh. What in the heck? That looks like a rugged ass meme coin to me. How does the Trump chart look on here? Come on, at least have some movement. Yeah, it's green at least. My gosh. I'll tell you what, man, I wasn't really sure. I wasn't positive of how that one was going to go. That could have been one way or the other. But you know, like, there's no way that this thing is not artificially kept alive throughout the next 4 years. Like, it just has to, right? As things go, you know, big things happen or key strategic moments, whatever it may be, you'll see this thing pump. You know, think of it like, you know, the Trump utility. I don't know, you know, however that works, right? And just expect that at some points throughout the next couple of years, this thing may pump, unless it dies off like the Melania coin, which I doubt, though. I'm sure he's too egocentric, and if he's got to buy the chart, he would, or if they'd figure out how to do it. There's no way he'd allow his coin to go like Melania's. She didn't get on the spaces. I don't know if Trumpy's getting on the spaces either, but you need to get on the spaces. Yeah, Doug, you are right. The Melania coin is a rug city. Rug alert. Whoop, whoop. Rug alert. All right, let's go. Let's see. What was the other article we had here? This was from a couple days ago. I think this was from Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, or April 11th. But we haven't talked, and I figured, hey, you know what? I love Ondo. You guys know that. And so why in the world would we not have an Ondo story? And so here we go. Digital asset custody firm Copper adds support for the Ondo Finance U.S. Treasuries token funds. So here we go. Copper is a digital asset custody, collateral management, and prime services provider. They partnered with Ondo, Multi-party computation custody allows clients to securely hold money market fund tokens, including support for 2 of Ondo's flagship tokenized treasury products. You got the OUSG and USDY. Ondo Finance has built upon the innovation of stablecoins with USDY, and they aim to provide the accessibility, utility, and privacy of stablecoins while offering an attractive yield and truly institutional-grade investor protections. Love that. OUSG caters to accredited institutional investors worldwide, providing straightforward exposure to short-term U.S. treasuries paired with 24/7 mint and redemption capabilities for anytime liquidity. You got Ben Lorente, the Strategic Alliances Director at Copper, said, through our strategic partnership with Ondo Finance, we're excited to extend custody support for tokenized money market funds, including Ondo Finance's USDY and OUSG tokens. And then you got Oya Selkimer, the sales director at Ondo, said, excuse me, I'm sorry I butchered your name. For OUSG and USDY holders, this partnership means a reinforced layer of protection that aligns with the highest compliance and regulatory standards. Copper's track record in serving global financial institutions ensures that tokenized treasuries can be integrated seamlessly into existing workflows. Here we go. They're going to share the vision of creating a robust, user-friendly infrastructure for institutional finance in the digital asset space, empowering clients to confidently embrace next-generation opportunities without compromising on oversight or risk management. Love to hear that. Man, that's exciting stuff. That's all juice, baby. You squeeze that thing, it's all juice. It's one of those oranges that just keeps juice. The mission is to accelerate the transition to an open economy by building the platforms, assets, and infrastructure that bring financial markets on chain. Here we go. Let's go. Is it copper.co? Is that their website? Let's go check it out. Why not, right? Copper.co, building the institutional standard for digital assets. All right. Institutional custody, prime services, and collateral management. You can book a demo right there. Who do they serve? Carrot doesn't open. Here you go. Hedge funds, foundations, ETP providers. Remember, ETP, exchange traded products, not funds for now. Miners, venture capital funds, exchanges, trading firms. All right. Products. They got custody, staking, Copper Connect, treasury management, collateral management, post-trade services, financing solutions, and securities, blockchain-based financial marketplace. There you go. All right. Copper.co. Coming as an Ondo partner. Love to see that. Let's see, what do we got here? Alan Howard. This is the team here. You got Alan Howard, Hani Rashwan, Alessandro Bellata. You got a lot of names here. Hedge funds, trading firms, foundations, exchanges, ETP providers, venture capital funds, miners. All right. Well, shout out to the partnership there. And I think that's going to do it for news articles. This article about tokenization, not something we want to get into today. So it is time to go over to the charts. But before we do, let's check the chat. Trump could announce that if you hold Trump as a nation, you won't pay tariffs for a year, right? If you hold the Trump coin, you don't have to pay income taxes anymore. That's the new thing. Hold the Trump coin, hold $1,000 of Trump coin, never pay taxes again. I would buy that day. Hopefully I'd have it beforehand because the price would go through the roof. Trump is a rug also. Yeah, I mean, it is a rug, but it's going to be artificially kept up. The price tag will be kept up. It has to. There's no way it can flatline. They won't allow it. They will always put money into it, and it's just the way it's going to be. David says, I held Trump coin 3 times on the first leverage, traded onto a Phemex, made 6 on my money in 3 hours, got 100% out, told Chris Rice that evening not to buy again unless retrace below 585. Okay, we'll take a look at the Trump coin. Take a look at the Trump coin chart a little bit later in the show. We can do that. We can definitely do that. It's almost there. Okay, well, all right. Maybe that's our number, 585. What a good year that was, 1585. I don't actually know if that was a good year. Let's see. Mike Modern Canadian says, with most games in the Web3 space, he doubts they will be impressed with Trump's game. I'm fairly confident no one will be truly impressed. Maybe it'll be playable, but Trump coin equals trash. One man's trash is another man's treasure, Blocky. Come on. I'm messing with you, dog. Everybody made some money with it. I actually didn't. I've never held the Trump coin at all. Maybe I'll check this 585 thing though. Matthew Powers just got in here. Does anyone think Trump coin will be implemented in the game? I mean, like, it literally makes the most sense, right? Like that would be like the in-game economy. And if you don't use that as the in-game economy token, then you miss the ball completely. And so maybe it is worth getting a little bag ski just in case. Because maybe the game is fun. You never know. I get it. All right. We're going to head on over to the charts in just a sec.
Oh, Dad, how about this one?
Boom, mash that like button. As my little homie, my little G says, mash that like button. All right. Let's swing it on over here. All right, we had the XRP chart open, but let's scroll on up here. Let's start. We got the S&P 500. What is happening over here? Let me move this over so you guys can see. We'll stretch this out a little bit. Bada boom, bada bing. S&P 500 battling to get back on track. As you guys know, we had that major dip, and we started to go back up, but now we've created a new norm. Instead of up only, it's battle, and we'll see what happens, right? So we'll keep our eye out on that, but definitely its recent shakeup rattled the old bird cage there, as they say in the entertainment biz. Not exactly sure if that's what they say, but it sounds good to me. Rattle the bird cage. All right, we were talking about, let's see, that's the futures. Now we are good. We have cleared all of our gaps. We ain't got no gaps. We got no gaps to fill anymore here. So we can move on from there. All right, then we start to break out of our downward trend here. What do we got? So it's been a couple days since we've been here, obviously, but it looks like we've got a little bit of a breakout. But we can just kind of reset that up there. That works anyhow. That we are still falling down. Remember, this is the total market cap, and this is we're not charting this one or anything, but this is, man, I tell you what, and it's true. You're in a downtrend until you're not, and I learned that from my wise friend AJ about looking at these things. And so while we are flirting with the top side of the trend, it is still still falling down. So we'll see what happens to the overall crypto market cap. Now, again, where we want to start paying the most attention are the two charts that we're going to look next. And we are going to look at these every single day on the weekends. Maybe I'll start to put a little video out and so we can see. But the whole idea is that we've got to be paying attention to Bitcoin dominance and the altcoin market, because that is going to tell us when we are headed in the right direction for our altcoin season. Now, I know Bitcoin maximalists are sitting there thinking like, what the fuck? He ain't talking about me. You're darn right, because we're altcoin people here. All right, so here is the others chart. This is the entire market minus the top 10. So no Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, USDT, USDC, all that stuff. Anything in the top 10 is out. This is only altcoins. And so let me move this all up so you guys can see. There you go. All right. So what I was saying yesterday, and why we're looking at this, is that here's the idea. Is you look here, right? You look here. This whole uptrend right there, that was November. That was our altcoin season. We need to stop going down. We need to stop that. We need to start going up. That's what that green arrow means. In case you guys didn't understand that, I feel like I'm a third grade science teacher. So, or math teacher, whatever. So what we need is number to stop going down, number to start going up. And again, that's the total top 10, the total crypto market cap minus the top 10. In this next chart, the other is the opposite, but it is the problem. The problem is that it keeps going up. And so as you can see, what we have circled here, let me go here. What we have circled is November. So on the last chart we showed you, that was the altcoin market exploding while the Bitcoin dominance price was going down. Now we know if we look at the Bitcoin price itself, the Bitcoin price was going up in November. So we don't need the Bitcoin price to go down. You guys have heard me say that. Remember, what we need is the Bitcoin dominance to start going down. And we're getting damn near close to, I mean, these are the kind of numbers that, we used to see back before there were altcoins. You know what I mean? Let's go to the weekly here. So this right here, kind of where, let's see, let's draw a line. So, I mean, so right here is where we're at. And so if that's, well, no, we don't want a line. Stop. So, I mean, that's back in 2020, 2021. The end of 2020, the beginning of 2021 is dominance-wise, we're back. So basically erasing the last several years of all the altcoin market. And so I feel like at some point that has to switch, right? It will switch. The money will stop flowing. The money has been going into Bitcoin on a dominance level since here. Oh, we got to go up a little bit. Golly, man, I'll tell you what, I need to learn like the quick command to get off of that and to go to the pointer so that we can move this thing. So anyway, at some point, guys, we know what's going to happen. Much like this, where this thing just dropped like a rock, right? We will see that same thing. And when that starts to happen, you will see this start to go up just like that. And that's how that's going to work. And even that doesn't mean, again, that we're not going to see the Bitcoin price go down. We'll probably see it go up a little bit here and there. But the whole point is that that's what we need for altcoin season. So there's your simple altcoin season economics by JChains. Smash the like button. And if you're an advanced person, like, you understand that shit, and I get it, but we have to appeal to more people. Remember, there's going to be more people coming into the space this year. We gotta welcome them with open arms. So remember that. We were all new one at one point. I've had some messages say, they're new and they would love some basic information. So we can start doing that. We can start covering a little basics, and we'll do some advanced stuff here and there. We will. But there you go. All right. Let's look at the ONDO chart. Still in an uptrend overall. We didn't break our structure. We got a little wiki sticky there, but we are hopefully on our way back up. I, at some point, think that the time will be, maybe we've got, a few weeks left for some rocky terrain, right? But at some point, we are going to spin the needle and we are going to start going back up to the right, and maybe not at the feverish pace, which you see here, right? Again, this is the week chart. This thing was straight vertical for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, month and a half. So, we're a month and a half from creating all-time highs, even if we were to do the same amount of gains, right? From the bottom to the top was 226, right? So that means from the bottom where we're at, 226, which is at 241. I could hit along at, you could wait a little while for confirmation that we are heading up, or you could, hopeful that you catch, you get in at a good position, maybe you catch the right day, and then it pops up, 5-10%, whatever. And then it never sees that price again until potentially the bear market, or never, right? But you're not going to stay in the trade forever. But you could stay in it for a little bit longer and catch, stay in it for a week, or stay in it for 6 weeks and catch 200% at whatever X you got leverage on. Or you can just spot buy. Remember, you can always spot buy. We talk a lot about trading. We talk a lot about trading in our chat groups. We talk a lot about trading. I talk a lot of trading on the show here and even in the morning show. But you can always just spot buy. If we're, it's a little bit different because, you may not get the same ROI gains, but you'll still get gains, no matter what. Even we talk about the spot buy stuff, say Ondo, like 6 to 8 months from now, we'll be laughing at the 88 cents or 84 cents or whatever the fuck it is right now. 84 cents, 84 cents almost on the nose. We'll be laughing at that shit. We will. Come the end of this year, we're going to be laughing. I'm hopeful that we are. Let's see, let's draw. I want to start to put together like little potential. Where I think price targets, and we'll chart them out and all that stuff, and we'll mark all these things. We'll do all of our favorite coins, and so there's the end of the year. So let's say going. So that's 320, and that's without any kind of explosive out of the norm growth, right? And so that would put it at about 325 at the end of the year. I think we'll be much higher than that, but there you go. There's something that you could look at, right? Potentially, until we go a little bit deeper and we start to look at some of the key metrics for the RWA industry, for the potential targets and where things are going. I mean, you got to think, say the low side of the the conservative guesstimate, the 16, say 20 trillion, is true. We do know that Ondo is going to get a large percentage of that based on what they're doing, and they're not going to get the whole thing, but they'll get a nice little market cap out of that, and we're going to see some massive growth out of Ondo, massive growth. And so 325 should be like, if we're doing bullish case, bearish case, and kind of like what we really think, bearish case is that we follow this trend and we hit 324. And obviously, like a true bearish case is that we have a black swan event and the market, fucking nukes. But I'm not thinking that way. I'm a bull. I'm a perma bull. So. All right. What do we got here in the chat? What's up, guys? What is up? All right, so what are we guys talking about here? Blocky. When moon. Come on, Blocky. When moon. Tell us all. Blocky, when moon. We gotta know. So where is, and let's just for the sake of shits and giggles, where does July start? So that would be where the first week of July is going to be. And so that gets us to the beginning of quarter three, where we really feel like we're going to see some explosive fireworks in the crypto space. Explosive fireworks. As you can see, OCD is making my lines have to be a little bit more perfect so that we have a tighter thing drawn there. But so the whole thing of us getting to this point and just kind of flirting with staying above this trend line, staying busy, staying active, having fun, stacking our chips, keep laughing, keep coming to the morning show. We're going to have a good time. We may, consolidate, we may range, much like what we saw here, right? Right? We may see another one of those right there. That's what takes us into quarter three, and we have just an amazing second half of the year. That's kind of what we're looking at. We'll keep this up for a little bit, and hopefully Ondo follows suit there. We'll see. I wouldn't hate if it goes up now, but I certainly don't want it to break this trend that we're in, because this seems to be a nice little pattern that we're making here. I like up and to the right, and I like this thing getting wider, the fan opening, getting stronger. And once we hit a pump, baby, once we hit that pump, $5 is going to be, we'll be like, haha, remember when Ondo was $5? Remember when Ondo was only $5? Remember when Ondo was only $5? Smash the like button. Appreciate you guys. All right. Jasmy, the one that I wanted to look at. I know that somebody made some gains recently with Jasmy, which is really good. We had been talking about it, and look at that. This last week, boomskis, boomed it, as my daughter says. If you were trading that up 62% last week, boomed it. What was our? Yeah, because we're up 51, almost 52% in our portfolio. So Jasmy was the pickup last week. I did get a message, and I know somebody had posted something that they made some pretty decent money on a Jasmy trade based on what we were talking about. So shout out to you guys if you hit the Jasmy as well. We know that thing is going to be a rocket ship at some point. It is going to be a rocket ship. We know that unequivocally. All right, so bring you back here. Here's the Jasmy chart. Here's that candle we were just talking about, the big one. We'll see what happens this week if we give those gains back or if it goes back up. You never know. This is the weekly chart, though. I'm going to change that. Go back to the day. So, I mean, technically, is this a breakout? That's what we got to know. This thing. My eyes are not that good, man. I mean, depending on how you want to draw that, I think that we're like right at the level. And so you need to see this a little differently. There you go. Spread this thing out. So I wouldn't say that, you should get into that long yet. But once we break out of this, I feel like that's the true breakout. Once we get out of that zone, then it's all systems go. And so we may come back down and play in this little triangle of love right here. You know what I mean? We've got the triangle of love right there. That's a 4. That's a 4. That's not a triangle, what I drew. I'm going to have to try that again. There you go. There's our triangle of love that Jasmy is trying to enter into. And as you know, not always does it break to the upside, but that's why we call it the triangle of love, because we're bulls and we expect it to break to the upside. So now's the time you want to buy it, but damn, that chart looks bad. I know, but this is the time, especially if this thing's getting ready. And remember, if this thing does break out, this Jasmy's like one of those powder kegs. And remember, much like, how we, are, really culturally patriotic to some extent for most of us. I feel like the same thing will be true with Jasmy when the switch flips in Japan, that it is going to be like just absolutely face melting. The Jasmy gains are. And so remember, you got the ETF news coming there. They are flipping their stance on crypto over in Japan, becoming more friendly to it. There are tax refunds going out. There are all sorts of incentives for liquidity coming to the market via crypto. And because Jasmy is the Japanese Bitcoin, it is embedded into the Japanese crypto culture. There is no reason why that thing is not going to absolutely explode. So keep your eyes on it. Watch the volume, watch the news, just check out for these kind of things. Put it into your, I don't know if you guys do this, but this is something that I do every morning. I get an email from Google. You can go to Google Alerts and you can set yourself alerts based on keywords. And so crypto, tokenization, Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, however you want to type, you just do keywords, right? And you can set, does it come from all over the world? Does it come from the United States only? All these, you can set these different parameters based on these alerts that you get. And so any news that comes in the morning that is based on these keywords that you get these headlines. And so you should be doing that. And you should, add Jasmy into that. And so that you understand, or add, Japanese crypto, or whatever you need to add in there as your terms, so that you can make sure that you're getting the right information. So once you know that things are progressing in that region, that might be the time. If this thing breaks out, that might be the time. If this thing dips back down to the low side, because I just mapped out the high side of the trend. We clearly have, that's not scientific, but we clearly have a low side of the trend too, that it's come down a few times. you know, maybe we could tighten it. We pull out some of the anomalies or whatever. And so there you go. So like, you know, this thing is riding high in the trend. So either we break out or we come back down to the low side. Let me pull this up so you guys can actually see this. Sometimes I forget to do that. You guys know that. So, you know, so there's like the both the top and the bottom. So you can see. So something to think about, guys. I am obviously I've got a tiny ass bag for now on this portfolio, and I'm going to be watching it. I mean, it's still been going down with the exception of the last several days where you got that big pump, but you've always got the chance to give those gains back. I mean, look what's happened here. Gave them up, right? Pumped them up, gave them back, pumped them up, gave them back. This could be a pump them up. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we break it out, but it could be a give them back. We never know. That's why you got to be patient with our triangle of love here. Let the triangle of love happen. So we'll see. Play the react to the break, whether it's up or down. Do not try to guess in the middle because we all know how that works. All right. Well, that is that for Jasmy. Let's see here. Solana. Do we want to look at Solana? Let's zoom out. No, it's been a while since we looked at Solana. Let's see. Oh, let's see what happens here, huh? What if our long-term, this is like the long con. What if the long con cup and handle plays out? Is Web3 breakfast mines? Yes. Yep. That's my thing. And so here we go. As you can see, this is our multi-year long cup and handle that we're going to see play out here. And so this is what we're predicting. And so that's why earlier in the show, when I had said something about, you know, ultimately maybe lowering our price expectation for Solana, that was based on this, right? And so if we measure our moves and all that stuff, that puts Solana to like 507 based on this long con cup and handle. It's multi-year. Do I wish I kept my soul over my ETH? No, because at this point, no, that's exchanged into other stuff at this point anyway. I didn't keep the ETH. I think I don't even know what I exchanged it into, and probably put some into a trading account. And then I know that I had bought like, you know, I'd spent like an ETH on those Supreme Kong NFTs. And so, you know, I ended up, you know, getting out of that and just keeping some Tether, some USDC over on the base ecosystem to pay bills, you know, to fund life, because, you know, now things have changed for me. Everything's self-funded. And so, you know, that's basically what I'm living, using that for, is for all sorts of stuff, you know, just keeping it in USDC really, because you can get 4% of it. You can get 4% on the Coinbase wallet. And I'm sure there's probably other wallets that, you know, that you do the USDC with anyway. So it's cool to just get some free money just from, you know, keeping it in there anyway. So I think my whole goal, my expectation of what I really want to do and what I need to do is to put, you know, whatever I want to make a month is really to make that be from passive income from, you know, staking stablecoin. And so that's, you know, that's my goal. The bull run is to make my number so that, you know, my monthly expenses, living, fun, or everything is just covered based on what just comes in from just hanging onto the stables. So, and then keeping into some stuff that fluctuate, obviously. But then you guys know, and you know, at some point we're buying the Bitcoin, and I won't be a maximalist, but I will hold most Bitcoin, you know, in the near future, or in the not the near future, in the, you know, I say not near future, but near future is probably less than 5 years, right? Like, time moves fast, man. Time moves fast. I think that's, you know, and to each their own and how you want to quantify time. All right, so that's our moves with Solana. I am not going to chart. I am not going to do anything else to this Solana chart until we see if this thing plays long multi-year cup and handle. So This just means that we've got a range. Look, we've got this thing ranging until we get to July. Was that done by design? I believe so. And just because this goes backwards a little bit, it's not like for real. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it drew. And you can't edit these things, and so I'm not going to push it. So you guys will know that was not for real. We're not going to go. We're not going to bring the time back. We're not going into DeLorean, you know. So, all right. So there's our Solana chart. We'll keep that one. Pith. Hey, you guys know. To me, Pith is on fucking borrowed time here. Like, I'm more disinterested with Pith as far as this bull run is concerned. And I think that I've probably said a few times what I think about Pith and what Pith needs. Pith needs Chainlink to be successful for Pith to be successful. Chain success is going to bring on the Pith success because that will bring on the competition. Link success. And that Link is well on its way. I think Link is very well positioned to probably be, I know, it's typically considered to be the bear market gainer, but I feel like this is going to be its bull run. And it's had its time in the sun before, but this is for real, in my opinion, Link. So well, we may start doing some more looks into Link. I've always liked Link. As you guys know, I have my suicide stack. I had it actually fished. I got hacked way back in the day for my suicide stack on my stinky linkies. So, everybody, it happens. Things happen. That's always the cost of your education and what to do and what not to do, right? So here's our XRP chart. We did look at this earlier in the show when we were talking about what was going on with the spot ETF potentially getting launched this year, which pretty excited. Here we go. Advice, not financial advice, but Pith trades. Okay, if you follow its token releases, but do not long-term hold Pith, not financial advice. That's probably actually, David, that's probably financial advice. It's probably some solid financial advice. This thing has just been down, baby. Oh, straight in the Range Rover. Straight sweeper, baby. Not ready to let it go. Shimmy, Cocoa Pop. Shimmy, yeah. Light it up and take a puff. Pass it to me now. We were talking earlier when we were talking about Solana kind of being on the upside of its trend. You can see XRP very similar. We've got probably a little bit of a tightening one, but in the same, still falling. We've got some anomalies. We've got some wicks. We got all that stuff that hang out outside of it. But let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys so it's easier. Golly, man. There we go. So we are still falling. However, we are on the upside. But what does this mean here? So we broke through. We can delete this. It has been a couple days since we looked at the XRP chart. Dougie Doug, my guy, have a good night, sir. Be well. Hope you had a great time on vacation. Thank you for joining. We'll see you soon. That goes for everybody. Thank you all for joining. I actually didn't realize we were after 5 o'clock here. Time flies when you're having fun, and I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys being here, hanging out with us. Gotta love the controls. You know that, right? You know that, my D. My G. All right. So let's see. Let's see if we can find ourselves. Let's pull some. What is this right here? This is probably. All right. So here's our. As you can see, we'll delete that. No, you know what? We'll keep that up because that probably has some older information, so we'll be able to pull that up later. But here you go. We got another one, ladies and gentlemen. We should write a song. Somebody should write a song about these coins. All these coins going into the triangle of love, man. They're just trying to do it, man. Spring is in the air. They are in love. But so there you go. We are now entered into the triangle of love for XRP. So we'll see what happens here. We've got until mid-May, so we've got a month. We've got a month to figure out, man. We could just be ranging down. Remember, we'd like to go you know, like some of the other ones, we like to go up, like to go down, like to go up. You know, that's all fine and dandy, man. We're gonna have fun doing that. We are gonna have fun over the next couple weeks, the next 6 weeks. But don't get it twisted, man. I think July is where it's gonna be. So instead of sell in May and walk away, unless we have a very explosive month in April, I wouldn't sell in May and walk away because you're probably gonna be down still. Unless we have a big month this month, which, guys, we are halfway through, and as you can see, it's still going down. You know. All right, Blocky. See you, brother. Have a good one. Appreciate you being here. You know what? Yeah, man, we should probably just roll. Let's we'll do some more charts tomorrow. I didn't realize it was so late. We probably I'm cutting into everybody's day. I know you got things to do. Sometimes we go long, you know, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Remember, 9 a.m. Eastern Monday through Friday, we got Web3 breakfast. So tune in tomorrow morning. I'll have that link posted up in a little bit. And then back at 4 p.m. potentially. Maybe tomorrow might look a little different. We'll see. I'm going to talk to AJ. I'm going to be probably taking him to the airport around 4:30. So I know that cuts into the show. So maybe do a quick one. Maybe we'll do nothing. Maybe we'll do something else. I don't know. But at the end of the day, remember, smash the like on your way out. See you tomorrow.